I spent a considerable part of our cash reserves too early, looking back, too early in the 2009 panic.
In 2018, star footballer Ronaldinho declared bankruptcy. He had a net worth of nearly 100 million euros 2 years before that. But by 2018, Brazilian authorities realized he had just 5 euros in his account, with a debt of 1.7 million hanging over his head. Stories like these make you question everything you thought you knew about money. You'd agree that most of what we want to do in this life is attempt to acquire money. But why should we spend so many years of our lives acquiring it if it can all vanish into thin air in a moment? Statistics from CNBC show that about 64% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and the United States has the highest credit card debt in the world. The current numbers in 2023 are $980 billion for credit card debt alone, excluding mortgage and personal loans. If these statistics are what we find in the world's most dominant country, the US, then it makes you wonder how worse the situation is in other first world or third world countries. Just look around you and ponder on how you relate to money yourself. Ask yourself, what is money to me? Is it just something that you use to pay the bills, after which it's gone? Or is it something you desire more than anything else in life? Perhaps it may have driven you to things like Ponzi schemes, lotteries, and expensive make-money online courses. You see, more than a desire to get rich, your perception of money matters a lot. You must be financially sensible to gain true wealth. What's the point of earning 7 figures a year if you have nothing to show by the end of the year? This is the mystery I want to address in this video. And then, later on in this video, I'll give you a better framework for money. One that is never taught in schools, but only real financial experts like Warren Buffett lives by.
Any word of advice you give to somebody who's a young investor who would like to emulate you, what you would recommend that they do to kind of build something close to what you've done?
I think you should look for the job that you would want to hold if you didn't need a job. I mean, you're probably only going to live once. You don't want to go sleepwalking through life.
The money misconception. What is the significance of money? If I pay you $100 for a job you did, what is the real significance here? Our school system would define money as a medium of exchange or an instrument used to trade. This is all based on the history of money. But this definition doesn't even show you half of the full picture. In Warren Buffett's opinion, if past history was all that is needed to play the game of money, the richest people would be librarians. You see, the true purpose of money is to represent value. You spend money on something based on its value. For instance, you'll spend more on a brand new Porsche than any old pickup truck. So, whatever you do, don't forget this one thing. Money equals value. So here's how Warren Buffett puts it. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Many people don't see money this way. In fact, some people view money with the wrong mentality, saying, money is the root of all evil. This thinking makes people assume all wealthy and influential people cheated their way to the top or were just lucky to be born into wealth. People never ask, what value can I create to be as rich as this billionaire or this businessman? The concept of money will make you realize that money isn't evil, and it doesn't make anyone evil. As a matter of fact, here's how billionaire Warren Buffett views money.
Money has no utility to me. Time has utility to me, but money in terms of making trips or owning more houses or having a boat or something, it has no utility to me whatsoever. It has a lot of utility to other people, which is the reason.
Forget that there are some people who exploit money for evil. The truth is that money will only give you more access and freedom to become more of what you already are. So, whatever choices you make with money, it all comes down to your personal values and morals. So, now you know money equates to value. So what? How does this help someone living from paycheck to paycheck? Or how does this pay the mortgage and credit card debt? Simply knowing that money is equal to value changes nothing, you might think. But actually, it does. How? Well, to answer that, pay attention to this next part. Producing value versus consuming value. One thing that we can all agree on is that money always enters and leaves our lives. It never stays. This is just because, as you have income, so too do you have expenses that suck away that money from that income. So, it's income versus expenses. But you see, there's another way to view this. Your value production versus your value consumption. You earn money because you've produced or offered some form of value. This could be your services at your company or the products you sell. But you lose money when you consume something of value, like food, electricity, a vehicle, etc. So this is why I like to view an individual's net worth as a benchmark that tells us the relationship between their production and consumption. Now, put yourself in this money equation. What part of the equation have you been on all your life? Think about how much money has entered your account since you started earning money and how much of that money is remaining. Have you invested or channeled any of that money into something valuable? For some of us, we find that we've not been producing enough value or any at all. And so, to balance the equation, we need to produce more. But for most of us, the big problem is consumption. Imagine someone earning $150,000 a year. That's well above the minimum wage, yet they barely have any cash left when the year runs out. Millions of people all over the world are in this category. They earn fairly much, but barely have anything to spare. If you're in this category, you must amend your consumption habits before attempting to create or produce more value. If there's one thing that the several cases of celebrities going bankrupt have taught us, it's that your earnings don't matter unless your spending is controlled. And so you see, production will only be truly beneficial when consumption is minimal. The money trap. The rat race, an endless cycle of pursuing money. Sometimes people understand the term rat race to mean working a 9-to-5 job, but it's not exactly that. Most online financial gurus make you see and understand the term this way so that they can sell you their ideas, their courses, or products. But working at a 9-to-5 job isn't evil. In fact, there are many people out there who love their jobs and would rather do nothing else with their lives. Do we also call them rats in the rat race? No. The real rat race is when your money is never enough. When you're constantly broke because money enters and leaves almost immediately. And when you feel the cycle of trading your everyday life for money, it will never end. The situation becomes even more dire when unforeseen circumstances occur, like accidents, sickness, or even losing your job. These things can hit you hard and throw you into a depression as you find yourself on life's edge, barely hanging on. At this point, your job is no longer an option. You are a slave to it for the rest of your life. If you don't work at that job, your debts and expenses will swallow you up in a moment. That is the real rat race. But guess what? It doesn't have to continue like that. As Warren Buffett would say, the most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is stop digging. You can get out of that mess, but first, you'll have to be conscious of your spending. So, you should journal your monthly expenses and everything that saps money away from you. All of this is to help you understand your consumption habits. Most people don't do this because they don't want to be shocked when they realize the horrible consumption habits they've developed. But this is a necessary stage. Once you've done that, the next step is to start taking control of your consumption. This is where budgeting comes in. Systematically allocate how much money should go to each group of expenses and be strict about it. The ultimate goal here is to live below your means. This is the only way you'll have enough leftover cash to invest or channel into producing value to get more money. However, before investing your money, you must save for a rainy day. Financial experts call this an emergency fund. This fund should be able to cover at least 3 months' worth of expenses. As common as living below your means sounds, it's the secret separating the broke from the wealthy. Just think about it for a moment. Why live a life you can't afford? Or why make financial decisions that will always put you on edge? Most people fall short because of their inability to resist momentary pleasures in pursuit of their long-term goals. Others fall short because they give in to social pressures. They try to impress others or own what they own. When you do this, you entangle yourself in a giant web of bad consumption. Frugal living is one thing that helps secure riches. I mean, you shouldn't go buy things simply because other people are buying them or because you want to look good, so others see you as financially buoyant, especially on social media. In fact, statistics have shown that many young people fall for social media pressure and end up with depression, anxiety, or an uncontrollable desire to make money at any cost. This is the world we live in today. People spend money they don't have to impress people they don't like, especially online. It would surprise you that multi-billionaires like Warren Buffett still practice frugal living.
Let's ask who is the more frugal between us. Charlie, who do you think is?
Well, in personal consumption, Warren is more frugal.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to condemn consumption, nor am I saying that purchasing material things you like is bad. My aim here is to draw your attention to you as a consumer. What would you prefer, appearing as though you're rich or actually being rich? The rat race can be your forever home if you're simply making money and spending it on material things, with no priority whatsoever about your financial dreams and your goals. Budgeting and accounting have always been proven to draw individuals out of this unforgiving race. Quit talking about how to make money if your consumer relationship with money demands you work night and day to satisfy it all. That's the real rat race, my friend. Now that you have all of that settled, let's talk about how to make money. Producing value. TV shows like Shark Tank are great for learning how to manage money from the top billionaires. But one thing these folks don't tell you is how to make money. You see, it's easier to manage the money you already have than to produce more of it. This is why most financial gurus in their books or shows tell you things like saving and investing or living below your income so you can pay off debt and live free. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this strategy doesn't work. It works a huge percentage of the time. But let's be honest, these Shark Tank billionaires don't rely on cutting expenses to accumulate the mouth-watering sums of money they mention on the show. For instance, Lori Greiner, one of the star personalities on the show, gained her $510 million net worth from her many startups and inventions ranging from jewelry to cosmetics. Plus, she has several investments that earn her at least $1 million annually. So, you'd probably agree that these guys have something going on for them that makes the living below your means concept very inconsequential. And this is why I want to tell you their secret. They all utilize a means of production and scale it up to a national or global level. Lori Greiner's entire business is centered on inventions that make people's lives easier. All she does is find or create a product that solves people's problems and then makes the solution available en masse. This is how entrepreneurs become millionaires. When you scale up your solution to a global level, your production side of the equation grows exponentially. But not everybody has the entrepreneur spirit. This is why you must first reflect on yourself and your capabilities, and then know what way or method of production best suits you. Please note that production here doesn't strictly mean opening a business. You can leverage anything to produce. For instance, you can leverage Amazon to produce and sell books, or leverage social media to produce written or video content. There are a million things you can produce, and there are 1,000 mediums to aid you in this. Now the internet has made it easier to scale up your production so that you can even sell to the entire world from the comfort of your home. This is a rare opportunity you shouldn't miss. Warren Buffett once said, "Opportunities come infrequently. When it rains gold, put out the bucket, not the thimble." It's all up to you. Find something you believe the market will patronize you for, then produce it en masse. Remember, even if you're comfortable with your 9-to-5 and regard it as your own means of production, it doesn't mean that your potential or ability to produce ends there. You can do more if you just take the time to find your production abilities. Here's some additional motivation from Warren Buffett.
Most people go through life using up a very very small part of their potential. And so anything you do that invests in yourself, that's the best investment you can possibly make. And
If you can reduce your consumption while cranking up your production, you'll become financially free in no time and say goodbye to the rat race forever. Never forget that in order to make money on a large scale, you must produce on a large scale.